The investigations into Congresswoman Ilhan Omar come as questions surrounding her finances mount, with many wondering, where did this money come from? Let's go to Emma Withrow from the Fact Check team, and you took a deep dive into it. What do we know as fact?
So we know for a fact, just based off of her financial disclosures that she submitted, that Omar has assets valued anywhere from $6 million to $30 million as of 2024. Now, this money looks like it's coming from a winery and a venture capital firm that Omar disclosed, so that's where its origins are. But one of the reasons that this raised eyebrows is because the year before, Omar disclosed that she had assets worth anywhere from around $40,000 to $250,000. Obviously, major spike in just a year, so a lot of people are starting to ask questions.
So explain why the disclosure ranges. Why is it that wide?
It's kind of how the system is designed, like the system itself that they report. So House members file under the Ethics in Government Act, and they're allowed to report basically most assets and debts in preset, what they call value brackets, rather than exact numbers. So that means that somebody with, let's say, 5.2 million and somebody with 24.9 million, they can both truthfully report that wide range from like 5 million to 25 million. And if a household has a few big assets in these big brackets, you can end up with a very wide net worth estimate, even if the real number is a lot tighter.
And just for clarification purposes, tell us how much on average a member of Congress makes every year, because that's really the source of a lot of these questions.
Exactly. Yeah. So U.S. members in the House and the Senate, their base salary is $174,000 a year.
All right, Emma, thank you. Emma's going to be back in a few minutes to dig deeper into the money members of Congress make while being public servants.
From housing to health care. Next year at the Live Desk, we break down America's cost crisis. The new polling just out offering us a new glimpse into who American voters are blaming. That in about 90 seconds.
Before we hit a break, we are taking a live look over Los Angeles, California. The CEO of a Los Angeles homeless services charity faces federal and state fraud charges. Prosecutors say Alexander Suver lived a luxury lifestyle paid for with $23 million in public money meant to keep people off the street. If convicted, he could face a sentence of up to 20 years in prison. You're watching the National News Desk, America's News Now. The DOJ and House Republicans have launched new investigations into Ilhan Omar's finances following mounting questions about her skyrocketing assets in the latest financial disclosure reports. Let's go to Emma Withrow from the Fact Check team. And questions about members of Congress, it's not something new. We've discussed it at length before, but when you make so much money in office, that's going to raise some questions. Who sticks out to you? Yeah,
it's interesting that an official investigation was never launched into Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi, because her and her husband's, when she first got into office in 1987, her and her husband reported they had about $610,000 and $785,000 in stocks in their portfolio. That's all according to her disclosure report that was published by Open Secrets. But then within the last 38 years or so, she and her husband have made at least $130 million in stock profits. That's all according to Quiver Quantitative. And they also reported that she's worth now $281 million, including all of her assets.
And Pelosi and Omar, they're not the only ones who have made a lot of money while public servants. Is that fairly common? It seems like it, right?
It really is, yeah. I mean, just looking at the scope of this, back in 2008, Alabama Republican Spencer Baucus, he bet against the market right after a private briefing with the Treasury Secretary and Fed Chair, made lots of money when the stocks fell. Then in early 2020, Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein, she sold off stocks right before the COVID crash, which raised a lot of questions about insider trading and any inside knowledge she might have had. And then more recently in 2025, another Republican sold hospital bonds just weeks after voting for a bill that put those same hospitals at risk.
And in terms of members of Congress and finances, there are bipartisan efforts to crack down. Emma, thank you so much. And for more on this Fact Check team topic, including links to their sources, scan the QR code or visit thenationaldesk.com.